What's happening, Tilray traders and investors? It's Rod with Pow Group. Welcome back on The Pursuit of Wealth, your home for MJ stocks, crypto assets, news, and interviews. Also home to the absolute best MJ community. Today is Wednesday. Happy Hump Day, April 24th. Hope you're doing awesome. And in this video, we're going to be taking a look at Tilray brand stock. We'll bring up the TLRY chart. We'll do some technical analysis. I'll give my thoughts and opinions on the technicals and what to expect in terms of the price action in the days, weeks, months ahead. Spoiler alert, though, there is a short-term bullish continuation pattern on deck, but there's also a medium-term bearish pattern that we'll be looking for. So we'll dive into that and the chart in just a moment. There's also an article from Motley where they're spreading FUD on Tilray. Classic, at the bottom, 52-week lows, all-time lows. We see FUD after FUD after FUD and bearish article after bearish article. And it's funny how this always happens near a bottom, right? They never do this at the top. They never issue warnings at the top whenever we're in mass euphoria or 52-week highs or all-time highs. It's the opposite. They talk about, I remember an article on Hexo back in the last bull market in February 2021, and they were talking about how it was going to $400 a share, right? This is what they do at the top, is they get you to think that, nothing's ever going to correct again. Everything's going to the moon. Everything's going to $1,000 plus. And they try to get you perma-bull and try not to sell. And then at the bottom, they spread fear, uncertainty, and doubt, FUD, and they get you to try to capitulate and sell your shares to the big institutions and the Wall Street crooks, right? So just be aware of this, right? This is how the psychology of the market works, and it just all comes with experience. But as always, this is not financial advice. This is for entertainment purposes only. You should never buy or sell anything based on anything that I say or write. Also, you can smash the like if you're new, tick the bell, all that good stuff. Subscribe. You'll be notified on any future videos or when I go live. And full disclosure, I do own Tilray in my portfolio. You can also check us over on X. You can follow us there. The handle for that is @GroupPow. Going to be using that as my platform of choice going forward. So just before we dive into the chart, this is the article dated today, April 24th. Came out 3 reasons Tilray Brands investors shouldn't assume U.S. MJ legalization would fix the stock's problems. Well, again, they don't talk about this when stocks are ripping. They only spread fear, uncertainty, and doubt when we're in the gutter, right? And the key points that they talk about is Tilray Brands is burning through cash, and that may intensify if new growth opportunities arise for the business. Alcohol has been a growing part of its operations, but priorities may change if Tilray decides to go all in on MJ. And the company may target acquisitions to fuel its growth, but that can come with significant risks. So I will start off by saying I think this is just a pure hit piece and FUD article. I don't put really any weight behind it. Anything that comes from the Motley you need to take with a grain of salt. And like I said, generally, when we're near tops, when we're at all-time highs or 52-week highs, all they come out with is articles trying to get you to never sell, right? And to feel good about the investment. And that's typically when you want to do the opposite, right? Take that contrarian approach. And then same thing at the bottom. They never get you perma-bullish at the bottom. They try to get you as uncertain and fearful as possible. And that is by design, right? So I would just, as soon as I seen this was from the Motley I basically disregarded it. I have nothing to say beyond that because all of what they say, the world could end tomorrow as well. Like we just don't know. And at the end of the day, nothing has changed really from a fundamentals perspective with regards to Tilray. If anything, they've only gotten stronger. And if we get rescheduling in the US, that's going to open up medical channels. We know that they're number 1 in terms of medical in Germany. And that's just pillar 1, right? Pillar 2 is going to be coming, which will be huge. Canada doubling the store count from 75 to 150 in Ontario. Still lots to convert from the illicit market over to the legal market. We should see improvement to edibles from 10 milligrams to 100 milligrams in short order. And then, in my opinion, over the next, call it 6 to 12 months-ish, we should see some improvements to excise tax. I don't think they can kick this can down the road that much longer. I think that's going to be something that they have to address. And then, Florida coming online. We have Ohio set to come online next month, and Pennsylvania, tons of other states and countries that could come online as well. So they're not really factoring that in, right? And I remember the articles from mainstream media about Tesla before, it had its insane 30x plus move, right? And that they were saying, all the mainstream media articles were saying, Tesla's not profitable. They'll never be profitable. They're losing money hand over fist. They're getting sued by the SEC. There's no way they're ever going to, stand the test of time and stand, they're not going to be around long term. They said that, Toyota makes more cars in a month than Tesla makes in a year. And we all know the story with that, right? And of course, they didn't issue those warnings on Tesla at all-time highs or 52-week highs. They were doing it when the stock was at its lows, right? So you just have to take what mainstream media says with a grain of salt and do your own research, right? Don't listen to these fools, literally. No pun intended. They are absolute fools, in my opinion. Sometimes, they come out with something, different analysts that work for them, but more often than not, they're painting a narrative, right? And they're working for the Wall Street banks and the institutions and the hedge funds. They're not working for us retail investors. So just be very careful on who you believe and where you take your advice from. And as always, this isn't financial advice. This is for entertainment purposes only. I'll never tell you to buy, sell, or hold. So we'll take a look at the chart here. There is a bullish pattern. We'll go over the bullish and then the bearish pattern, because the bearish pattern kind of supersedes this one because it's on a higher level time frame. So generally, when we're looking at a higher level time frame, we want to kind of use that as our gauge, because that one is more than likely going to play out, for an extended period of time. Whereas the shorter term time frames, we could see this hourly bull flag that's potentially on deck play out, but then we could reverse in short order, right? And in the same day, technically, or in a matter of days. Whereas a pattern on the daily or the weekly time frame could take multiple weeks or months to play out, right? So it's all about just understanding different time frames and looking at what the charts are saying. And as of right now, it is a bullish continuation pattern on Tilray on the 1 hour time frame, but generally we want to be in a bull trend. So right now we're no longer in an hourly downtrend because we broke the lower high, lower low pattern. So once we broke the high there at 177, that marked the daily bounce underway, and then also the hourly downtrend was no more. So the trend is flat at the moment. We're not in a downtrend. We're not in an uptrend, but we could potentially confirm an uptrend here if we break above that resistance and key resistance there at short-term resistance at 187. If we break 187, then it's hourly uptrend confirmed, and then bullish continuation pattern and bull flag will be confirmed as well. Again, you usually want to be in an uptrend to see bullish continuation patterns because you want to be in a bull trend. We're in a flat trend right now, not in an uptrend or a downtrend. So I would say, the probabilities of this playing out are around 50 or 60%. Whereas if we were in an hourly uptrend already, then maybe it would be closer to 70, 80%, right? But if we do confirm the hourly bull flag, you just take your measured move from the low to the high, move it out to your 0.382 fib, and it says we're targeting about $2, just over, on this hourly bull flag. So in order to negate it, we need to lose the low there at 178, which is an hourly double bottom support, most important short-term support. We lose that, then we're more than likely coming back down to test that 0.5 fib retracement around 176. So again, that's what we need to see to negate it. And in order to confirm it, the hourly uptrend and the hourly bull flag, we need to break resistance there at 187. Now we'll zoom out to the daily time frame and we'll take a look at the longer term bearish pattern, and it's actually a daily bear flag. So if you go from your high to the low here, anything under this, on this bounce, anything under 215 is a potential daily bear flag, and the measured move on this bear flag is saying we're targeting about 120. So I don't think this is the most likely scenario. Potentially if the S&P 500 continues to be weak, but Meta was down 16% after hours. They beat in terms of estimates, in terms of revenue and EPS, but they had poor guidance. So that was weighing on SPY down a little over 0.5%, still holding above 500 though. So we'll see if we also had a POW algo sell alert go off on a lot of our big techs, including Meta. So POW algo called it, and even with a beat in terms of analyst estimates, they still had poor guidance. And again, we were seeing that in the technicals and the POW algo sell alert that went off on big tech. It's really just the beginning of the sell-off in big tech, in my opinion. So you need to be very cautious. But I think MJ could be a great beneficiary of a multi-year bear market in the broader market in big tech, right? That money has to rotate somewhere, and I think we're still going to see altcoins continue to get the brunt of the moves, and then MJ as well. But if we take a look at the daily bear flag, it is saying 120, but we have key supports at 150. We're just looking for a monthly higher low compared to that, and then key resistance at 340. If we hold 150 on this monthly consolidation, break 340, it's monthly uptrend confirmed, right? And then that would be the first time in about 4 years. So as of right now, in order to see this daily bear flag confirm, we need to lose the low there, the low of the dump at 165. So if we lose 165, you just take your measured move from the low to the high, move it out to your 0.382 fib, and it says the measured move's targeting about 120. So that's what we need to see to confirm the bear flag on the daily time frame. In order to negate this pattern and to no longer be expecting a daily bear flag, we need to get above the 0.32 fib there at 215. So we're starting the daily bounce today for the second day in a row, and we have virtually no resistance until that gap to about 250, and then on the price action up to about 297, so call it $3, right? So we've already got the EMA 12 and 26 bear cross out of the way, and we were very close to daily oversold. But again, SPY on the daily time frame already touched daily oversold, which I mentioned was more than likely going to happen because we hadn't been daily oversold since all the way back in October, and then we hadn't seen a EMA 12 and 26 bear cross since September. So we got that out of the way. But with that being said, we could see a little bit more short-term pain here in the broader market, which would be headwinds for the MJ sector, but SPY is a monthly bull flag. So on this consolidation, you can see here we're holding so far the 0.32 fib, and that is at 479.24. So as long as we hold 479 on this monthly consolidation, meaning we're losing the low of the previous candle and we're pulling back, as long as we hold that 479, it's a potential for a monthly bull flag, and it's targeting 619, 620. So that would be massive. And then we also have a potential monthly downtrend on the DXY, the dollar index, and an EMA 12 and 26 bear cross on the monthly time frame on the dollar, which is the first time since, I believe, 2020 in the summer. So it's been a long time coming. So if we see this monthly bull flag and downtrend on the monthly time frame on DXY and EMA 12 and 26 bear cross on DXY, that's going to be super bullish for the broader market, stocks, crypto, into the end of the year here. So it's looking pretty good in terms of our chances there if we can just see kind of the bleeding stop from Meta's reaction, earnings reaction, bearish sentiment there. And we'll see how much it recovers into pre-market, into tomorrow, and into the bell. But as of right now, like I said, we have a lack of resistance here on the daily time frame, and we're looking at an EMA 12 and 26 bull cross on Tilray, and it's all about the monthly time frame, just looking for this low, high, higher, low, and higher high. We're just stuck back within this range. So all about 340, and then we're also gearing up for a golden cross with the 50-day at 194 and the 200-day at 208. So those are very close to seeing another golden cross as well. And in terms of the weekly moving averages, we're getting back towards our 50 weekly there at 203. So that's the most important near-term resistance, because that's also going to be the hourly bull flag target as well. So after that, 262 is the 100 weekly. But one thing I wanted to mention as well is that last month on Tilray was the first time we closed a monthly candle over EMA 12 since way back here in June 2021. So that was the first time since we confirmed the monthly downtrend as well, in that massive run up to $67 in February 2021 highs. So the fact that we're seeing that the first time we close over EMA 12 on the monthly time frame in 33 months, so that's signifying that, you know, we're seeing a potential long-term momentum shift here to the upside and to the bulls. And as of right now, I think this could be our final shakeout. And there's talks of rumors, and there's rumors going around, talks are going around that we could potentially see a decision out next week in terms of the DEA and DOJ's Schedule 3 decision, whether or not we get an approval or a denial. But as of right now, it's looking like that's going to be the case. We're going to see an approval, in my opinion, over the next couple of months. And then there was talks today going on X and around. A bunch of people were talking to me about this on social platforms as well, that how long would it take for rescheduling, and people are speculating that it could take, no one really knows for sure, because there's a lot of legalese and mumbo jumbo and things that we never really experienced before. But as of right now, it's a 60-day comment period. They could stretch it out another month or so. And then, you know, there's going to be all kinds of, like I said, regulatory hoops and red tape that they'll have to kind of circle around. So we'll see. But like I said, if we get, you know, rescheduling soon, say within the next month, if it does end up taking 90 days, right, that'd be 1, 2, 3. So let's say we get it, you know, sometime before the end of the May or whatever, say this month or next month. We'll start counting at June. So 1, 2, 3. That only gives us a few months before the elections. So I think they're going to want to get it done before November, and then go through the 60-day comment period. Whether it be longer than that, we'll see. But I do think that the announcement is imminent, and that we'll more than likely get the rescheduling news. Then we'll get safe banking, you know, MJ banking uplisting to the NYSE and the NASDAQ potentially. And then we'll get, you know, end of 2024, 2025, beginning of, we'll see Schedule 3 actually enacted, right? And then summer of 2025, the potential for Florida coming online. And like I said, this is going to open up medical channels in the U.S. if they reschedule to Schedule 3 for names like Tilray. And then you got names like Canopy Growth, who are, you know, changing their whole strategy and creating a holdings company. So they're basically creating a blueprint and paving the way for other companies like maybe even Tilray to do Tilray US, where, you know, I know they have convertible debt in MedMen, so they could potentially look to exercise, you know, that and create a US holdings company. So it'll be interesting to see if others follow suit. But overall, I think this is just a hit piece. I'm not worried about their business. I mean, Germany coming online is really just the early days there. It's not even Pillar 2 yet, for profit. And then, you know, the Florida, Ohio, Pennsylvania, we have rescheduling in the U.S. to Schedule 3, which would open up medical channels, and then just the rest of the EU, right, and other individual states that could come online as well. So I wouldn't be worried about what they're saying. I mean, obviously acquisitions, as long as they're accretive and as long as they're in line with their, you know, their goal, and as long as it's not, you know, creating massive dilution And they said there was a reason why they were keeping their cash reserves as well, was to conduct further M&A and other strategic investments, right? So as long as it's accretive, as long as it makes sense with their overall strategy, I don't think it's the end of the world. And as we know, they're big into beverages, and once legal in the US, they're going to be able to just create that at scale and infuse MJ into it as well. So again, I think it's mostly just a FUD article, but let me know your thoughts and opinions in the comment section below, and we'll continue to monitor the price action over the next couple of weeks, because like I said, the charts are at an inflection point, and it's looking like we're going to see some massive upside, in my opinion, over the next several weeks and a couple of months. Going into there, though, it's Rod with Power Group. Thanks again for joining us on the Pursuit of Wealth, and we'll see you again on the next video.